Hi everybody, Mambo Sam here. So today we wanted to talk a little bit about our path with Erzulie Freda and Ogoun Feraille. So in our house, we actually have an initiation onto that path for the Kuzans. When you get to the highest level Kuzan, which is the Premier Kuzan, you actually receive Ogoun and Ezili in an initiatory way. So for us, and this can also be for you, don't have to be an initiate, this embodies their spiritual growth, the desire to learn, because sometimes that desire to learn can wax and wane a little bit. The courage to continue on. Sometimes it's challenging to follow any kind of spiritual path. So Ezili and Ogoun are really good at letting us draw strength from them to continue on to our path. The struggle for inner peace and fulfillment within oneself. So every day, right? The ability to stay on the path. Again, sometimes that's challenging to stay on a path. So this power couple can really help ground you and center you and help you to understand that you're on the right path and this is something that's good for you. And of course, there's the desire to have a spiritual community. A lot of you are solitary practitioners, either by desire or geography. So it's good to know that there are other people that are following this same path with you. So these goals, can be the same or different whether you're an initiate or not. I always recommend that before you start to work with a Voodoo Power Couple or any Loa really, it's maybe good to write down, list out your personal goals, kind of decide what is it that you would like to gain. Sure, there's a list of things, but what do you want to gain? That's what you really want to know. So remember, it's okay to write things down and refer back to them. Can't always use your memory. It's like for every spiritual thing. So I'm a big proponent of writing it down. So that's kind of what this power couple means to our house, the Church of the Nine Mysteries. What it ends up meaning for you, if you're not a house member, is very personal, and there's no wrong answer to that. It means what it means to you. Okay? Ooh, Voodoo Power Couples. Yay! So I know I mentioned that on the last slide, Voodoo Power Couples. We say it so much that it just actually has become part of our normal conversation. But for those of you who might be watching and don't really know what the concept of Voodoo Power Couples is, we actually call that for Loa that are joined together in some way. Erzulie and Ogoun, Meman and Brigitte, La Serene and Agwe. Couples that are known to be joined together. Every once in a while, we find out about a Voodoo Power Couple to Loa that we didn't actually realize were joined in some way, but that's for another day. One thing for sure is I do believe that this mostly comes out of New Orleans voodoo, out of the South, and I think it has that whole Southern hospitality thing to it. We just think it's rude not to include a partner in physical life, spiritual life, so we would very rarely honor one Loa without, and if they have a known partner, we of course want to pull them in. You don't always have to, because that's always a question, but no, you don't always have to, but it's pretty nice to do. It's easy to do. Sometimes it can just be a tiny homage to the Loa you're not really wanting to petition, but you know that they have a partner. But for our purposes today, we're really talking about the dual power that comes with it. I mean, of course, it's always great to have 2 Loa, 3 if you're counting in Legba, which of course you should always count in Legba. But it's always great to have them working a project for you. Like I was mentioning on the slide before, for initiates, this path of this power couple is always followed when they're working with them. Whether they're asking for something or not, they're always honored by us in that way. So that's a little bit different. But for your purposes, you're looking to honor them together and call on them together to help you with a goal. And that's what we call Voodoo Power Couples. I don't think anyone else calls them that but us, but hey, that's it. That's what we call a Voodoo Power Couple. Ezili and Ogoun, 2 of our personal favorites, right? So, in my opinion, I think Erzulie Freda is probably one of the most misunderstood Loa out there. There's so much written about her that in our practice, our belief, our system, we just don't believe is true. It's not what I was raised on. It's not what I teach. I think that everyone's entitled to believe what they want to believe, but I really don't like the fact that Erzulie Freda is portrayed very often as selfish, can never be pleased, just a lot of negative things are said about her, that she's uppity, that you have to have $1 million to serve her, things like that. Those things just are not true. I think the part of her that gets most ignored is the fact that she is a bringer of love and strength. She is a protector. She's the mother of the sorrows of the world. Her crying is not because you didn't give her what she wanted. Her crying is because she knows no matter how many physical things there are given, that will never solve everything. She knows that not all problems can be solved, and that makes her very sad. She is a taker of burdens, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. But she wants you to lay your burdens down to her. She wants to take them. She cries, so you don't have to cry so much. She will cry for you on your behalf. So honor to her and love to her. And I always apologize to her that she's really, really misunderstood. So every time I get the chance, you'll hear me try to set the record straight on that. So every venue when we're talking about her, you'll hear the same speech. So sorry about that. Sorry, not sorry. Okay, Ogoun Feraille. Not so much poorly written about him. He's pretty much as portrayed in most writings. Of course, he's a bringer of strength, protection, warrior against injustice, a great strategist, a husband, a lover, a soldier. He's definitely a soldier against delusions and weakness and fears. He's going to cut right to the chase, right to the heart of the matter. That you almost always see him with a machete, and that is for cutting through the, you know what. Anyway, so, I wanted to address the thing that we always address. People are like, okay, you're always talking about Ogoun Feraille. What about the other Ogouns? Of course, there is the saying, all Ogouns are Ogoun. So there are these different aspects of Ogoun, and they're all valid, and there are many of them. For our purposes, we're using Ogoun Feraille in the power couple because it is indeed that aspect of Ogoun that is linked with Erzulie Freda. But if you are honoring another Ogoun, then that's fine. But as a couple, then you want to put these two in particular together. So All right, moving on. Before we talk about veves, Erzulie Freda gently, oh so gently, reminded me to make sure that I mention not to mix her up with her sister, Ezili Dantor. So, don't mix up Erzulie Freda and Ezili Dantor. That's a subject for another day, but she did remind me. So, okay, veves. What are they? Okay, a veves is basically a calling card of a loa. A calling card, a doorway, a way to make a path. They are ritualistic drawings that have been passed down over time, many, many years, and they are used to represent a loa. People get them tattooed, all kinds of things, and no wrong answers here for that either, I don't think. The best way that we can use them simply is to draw them. Make sure you use a reputable source and get the correct veves. There are variations that are not incorrect. They should look similar. If you see one that's very far afield, if you see three and then you see one that doesn't feel right to you, don't use that one. But there are differences here and there. But look for the ones that are similar. The best thing you can do is draw it yourself. It's fine to use a copy and to use copies that you cut out. But if you really want to connect, draw it yourself and don't worry about if you're a great artist or not. No one cares, least of all the loa. I really feel like we could do a whole class on how to use veves. Brother Menfo, remind me of that. Okay. So, a lot of times people draw them, especially in New Orleans voodoo. You draw a veves, you put it down flat on a surface, and you knock. It's a doorway to the loa. You can use all kinds of ways to do this yourself in any situation. People carry them sometimes and they'll like really subtly put them down like on their lap, or they'll have them in their pocket and they'll be like knocking in their pocket. Right. So you get the idea. It's a way to call them without verbalizing it if you need to. So you can use that. You can meld veves. I've seen a lot of really nice drawings, especially of Ogoun and Ezili, where they melded them. They put the Papa Legba veves in the middle, and then they had like the three together. So you can definitely use them that way as well. But these are good copies these are accurate copies, I should say, of the veves. So feel free to use them. Now we know a little bit about Ezili and Ogoun. Well, we probably know a lot, right? So now we want to talk about your goals in working with them. Before you start work with them, you want to always establish your goal or your desire. Is it your desire to just honor them? Yay, that's perfect. Is it your desire to ask for something? Yay, that's perfect too. Is it your desire to get to know them better? Yay! So your goal is personal, and unless you have some nefarious thing going on, I think your goal is great and personal, and stick to it. It's okay to be creative. Okay, obviously if you have a love goal in mind, you certainly, no-brainer, would work with Ezili and Ogoun. And so we, as you know, a big part of what we do is love magic, but there's also a huge part of our work that is all different sorts of goals for different types of people. So just remember that Ezili and Ogoun, although known as a love power couple, are really good to work with for other things: money goals, luck goals, life goals, changing your life's persona, what you want to be, who you want to be. There's lots and lots of goals. So money goals and luck goals are good. Erzulie loves riches and wealth, right? But why? Is it just for her? No. She loves that for you too. She's not greedy. Again, misportrayed. She's not greedy. She does love all those things, and she does love finery. But she loves it and wants it for you too. So if you're doing money work, luck work, job work, you can definitely call on Ezili and Ogoun. Ogoun's going to bring that strength and power and fortitude and insight, cutting through things, cutting through red tape, opening doors. And so using them together for perfect for any of those things. I wanted to talk a little bit about how we can utilize the powers of Erzulie Freda and Ogoun with depression, grief, anxiety. We're seeing a lot of these things plaguing people, and it's beautiful to really work with the Loa on these types of things. Erzulie is the mother of sorrows. You can literally give your grief and depression over to her. She will take it. She knows it's yours, and you do have to go through your grieving process or your depression process, especially if it's something situational. But she can help you. She'll share that burden. She'll take that burden. Just ask her to, when you've grieved properly, or you're in a depressive episode and you can't get out, ask her to help you. You don't have to get too fancy. Trust me, if you're grieving or having a depressive episode, you probably may not have the fortitude to get up and light a bunch of candles and get a bunch of offerings. One candle, glass of water. Ask, please, please help me. Because then, as you start to feel better, then you can go do more of the things that you feel like are normal that you would do with the Loa. But if you're deep in that hole, ask her and Ogoun to help you out. She will help you by taking part of the process, and he will help you with the strength. So obviously, no ritual is a substitute for medical care, but it's certainly a good adjunct to medical care. If you start building this relationship with Ogoun and Erzulie Freda, and you do suffer from depression, anxiety, or you're going through a grieving situation, someone out there is going through a lot of grief right now, and I love you. You know who you are. You lost a great mentor, and I'm so sorry, but we love you, praying for you, and know that he's still with you. Okay, so another thing to do is ask them to bless your meds. So if you're on meds really for anything, also Maman Brigitte is perfect for blessing medicine, but if you're already working with Ezili and Ogoun, then asking them, especially with meds that are for mental, psychological, emotional disorders, or maybe not even a disorder, but something you're currently going through and you've gotten some meds for it, ask them to bless those, to put their strength, to put their understanding, to help these medicines go through your body and work better for you. I think that's a great tool to have in your toolbox. Anyway, so whatever your goal is, know that they can help you in some way. There are often different Loa that we work with for different things, but this power couple is pretty broad-based, and if you start to love them and you start to work with them together a lot, and you want to ask them for things that maybe seem out of their purview, they're not. They're, like I said, they're much more than what is usually portrayed. So feel free to use them in all your goals if you want to. Okay, So, we are to the portion of talking about honoring and asking. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on altar setup and all of those things, what they like and what they don't like. We have that basic information readily available to you on the website. There's 2 links. For Ezili, it's erzuli.htm. For Ogoun, it's ogoun.htm with www.spellmaker.com in the front. So there's the links, and I will have Brother Menfo put this up on our YouTube channel so that you could access it when you need to. So just remember, there aren't really limitations on what you can ask for, but it is better to try to focus your petitions down to one goal at a time. Even breaking the goal down into smaller goals is very effective because you put a lot of concentrated energy in that one aspect of something. Say you're trying to get a job. So you start out asking for the availability of jobs and in your field, and for for a variety of choices to come your way. So that's the first part you're asking for. So that happens. Now you ask, what about the interview? I like this company, this company, this company. Can you help me get an interview with those companies? So do that part. Now you got the interviews. Pick and choose and be like, oh, I hope I can get this company or this company or this company. So now you've broken down the job work into some manageable goals. And yes, it's perfectly fine to do it all in one. But if you're really making a concentrated effort and you're not just trying to find a part-time job to get you through school, but you're really working on a career and you really, really want these jobs, break them down like that. It can be really helpful to concentrate that energy. So you're asking, always remember to honor. We can get really caught up in asking for things. The New Orleans voodoo religion does base a lot on give and get. We give, so now we want to get something, and that's fine. That's the way it is. So don't forget, though, in the asking for something, to always honor the law that you are working with. Spend some amount of time not asking for anything. And again, it's okay to keep things simple. We don't always have the resources to be lavish. Don't be disheartened by that. Just do keep it simple. And sometimes just a thank you. Thank you for being here for me. Thank you for walking with me. Thank you for staying by my side through my times of trouble. That's a great honor. And just always remember to do that. Honor and ask and honor. So let's pull all this together. You got the basics. Like I said, you can find those online with us. Setting up your altar, presenting your offerings. Keep it simple, make it lavish. Whatever you can do will be just fine, because it's you, it's from your heart, and you're doing it. So don't sweat the altar setup. Don't sweat offerings. If you have the means to make them nice, do so. If you have the means to make it simple, do that. It's fine, I promise you. So always remember to call in your Loa, Papa Legba, Ezili, then Ogoun, for this particular scenario, obviously. Offer them honor in your own words. Like I said, you can wax poetic, you can be simple, but always be respectful and give them that honor. Tell them what you want. Maybe you don't want anything. Maybe you just want to relax with them, get to know them, honor them. That's perfect. And it's peaceful. Sometimes a small ritual where you're not asking for anything, but you are just there to get to know them, it's peaceful, it's rewarding, it's very soothing. Try it. So also spend some reflective time in your ritual. I always think this is a good time to write in a journal, listen for the Loa messages, write down your plans, your dreams, your hopes, what you hope to accomplish by being with these Loa, and what are your goals, and tell them your dreams. Writing it down is really, really helpful. I think that looking back on those, especially you write them down, you look at them in a month, 6 months, a year, you see how you grew, you'll see how you got what you want. Sometimes you see what you didn't get, and you figure out why you didn't get that, because you just know, you go, oh, right, I wasn't really supposed to get that. Now I understand. So it's helpful to have a written record so you can go back and look at that. Always close out your ritual. Thank the Loa for their time. Ask Papa to close the gate when he's ready. And then you're done. So I know I made it sound a little oversimplified there, but it can be simple. And okay, that's all on that. I just wanted to take a quick minute to thank you all for being here. Thank you for watching this. I hope you learned something, and I hope that you go out in the world and do amazing things with the Loa. Sending you lots of love, lots of blessings, and I Bobo to all of you. Bye-bye.